Welcome to the Early Wedge Tuesday Best Bet Show. I am your host, Eric Cohen. It is the season finale, for all intents and purposes, of this program. I cannot believe it, the 26th episode of 2025. And here we are. We are at the Tour Championship. But before we bring in the stars of the show, let's recap what we have done this year on the show. And it's really something special. I mean, look at the top. Patrick started it out 110-1 with Joe Highsmith. And we've hit, I think 11 winners. We had a nice little stretch of 5 and 7 weeks. All of us have kind of contributed in our own ways. My favorite pick of the entire season, I guess I'm biased on this, was Patrick single bulleting Ben Griffin at the Charles Schwab, challenge, and he hit that one. Said, who cares about Scotty Scheffler? I played the without market, but Patrick was all over that. So let's bring in the stars of the show. A lot to be proud of on this show. We have from CBS Sports, the great golf writer, the one, the only, Patrick McDonald. We have from, I don't even know where to introduce you from. I do this every week. SiriusXM, BetMGM. You can find him everywhere on the internet. It is Jason Sobel. And then the host of The Early Edge and one of the best golf bettors on the planet, in my opinion, Sia Nejad. So, gentlemen, good to be with you. Patrick, we're going to start it off. We're going to get to Ryder Cup. I know this is a topic that you kind of have stirred up the pot maybe a little bit. Your thoughts on Keegan Bradley's decision-making next week?
Yeah, I mean, do we want to get into who we think he should pick? Do we want to get into – I created a ranking mechanism of sorts.
Let's hear that first. Let's hear that.
Yeah, that have people hot and heavy in the streets. And you guys know me. I don't usually go down Take Avenue, but I guess this week I did. So it's called the Big Boy Barometer, Triple B for short. Not to step on the toes of one LeVar Ball, but hopefully that trademark's coming to an end here shortly, and we can take it over. I don't think Big Baller brand has really done much in recent years. And so there's 3 tiers to the Big Boy Barometer. You have the big boys, guys on the Ryder, and this is in the context of the Ryder Cup. That's important also. These are the guys who are in form. They've been there. They've done that. Last 4 holes of a match, you want them on their side. You can trust them. You think this guy is going to win the match, eke out maybe half a point if he's down, something like that. Second tier, just the boys. Kind of in the same realm as the big boys, but they have some question marks around them. Maybe they haven't done in the Ryder Cup. Maybe their form's a little off. And then third tier, little boys. Unproven, maybe out of form, whatever it may be. And so we only ranked the big boys and the boys. And I said the Americans only have 2 big boys right now. And that got some people a little hot and bothered. I said Scotty and Bryson. I didn't think that was unfair. And I said the boys were Xander, Cantlay if he makes the team, Morikawa, JT. And then this is where people really, really started going at me. I'm talking like DMs, which normally I don't get. Like threatening my life almost. I'm just kidding. I called Tommy Fleetwood a big boy for the European Ryder Cup team.
Yeah.
People did not agree. So I want to get your guys' takes. Do you have any big boys on the European side or the U.S. side, or just boys, little boys even? I didn't get to that part.
Sobel?
Fleetwood certainly needs to be in the big boy conversation. In fact, a Ryder Cup is better for his style of play than anything else. Look, if you fall apart on the last 2 holes of a Ryder Cup, if you're up 3, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. You don't even play those last 2 holes. So I think Tommy Fleetwood is primed and ready. Just because he doesn't get it done on these 71st, 72nd holes of PGA Tour events has nothing to do with it. The guy is wildly talented. As of right now, quite frankly, would I rather have Tommy? I mean, Scotty's obviously your number 1 pick. If you take all 24 players who are going to be on these 2 teams and we're doing a fantasy draft, Scotty's number 1. Tommy's in the top 5 somewhere, and I don't know exactly where it is. Might be 3, might be 4, but Tommy's up there somewhere.
Yeah, and so I had Rahm, I had Rory. I got a little trigger happy with the European big boys. I'll admit it. I threw Rose in there, and then Hovland's the one where I was like, he could go middle tier or big boy tier. But those were my guys.
See ya.
I agree with Fleetwood being in the big boy tier. Rahm, I agree with being in the big boy tier. Hovland's right on the line. I think you could put him in the big boy tier as well. Who was the other one? Rose, I would not put in the big boy tier.
I threw Rose in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's really acceptable. And then was there another name you threw out there on the Euro side?
What about Ludwig?
Ludwig, I have him as a boy. Sure.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, not quite a big boy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's chalkboard stuff. That's refrigerator material right there.
Yeah, just a boy. I think Hatton could be borderline big boy, potentially. Bob Mack was a boy. Fitzpatrick was a boy. So.
Did you take into account Ryder Cup records in this?
Well, yeah, it's in the context of the Ryder Cup.
Okay. To me, what it sounds like is Europe has a lot more big boys in general than the U.S. does, and they're still underdogs on the money line. So, I mean, we all want to be patriotic, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do is what I hear from you. So people are really angry at you here, Patrick.
Oh, my gosh. It's unbelievable.
Do you think they're going to be angry when they hear your captain's picks for the U.S. team?
I don't think
so.
And
if so,
I
who
think
are they?
Pretty reasonable. Okay, yeah, mine. They haven't changed the past, I don't know, 3 weeks at this point. Really, ever since Cameron Young won, I would say. So it's JT, Morikawa, Griffin, Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay, and my captain, Keegan Bradley. Those are my 6 captain's picks.
All right, Sobel, what do you think about that list?
Okay, I'm on board with a lot of that. I need a couple of, first of all, like asterisks on my picks here. First of all, this is what I would pick, not what I think Keegan will pick.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have Colin Morikawa on my team. I would go Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, Ben Griffin, Sam Burns, and I don't feel great about it, Cameron Young. And again, I wasn't sure if I was picking for me as the captain or if I'm just making picks and then handing over the reins to Keegan to be the captain. If that's the case, then I'm leaving Keegan off the team. I'm going with Chris Gotterup, who I really want him to be on this team. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he needs to play a little bit better. But again, remember, guys, there's such a fine line between the guy who's ranked number 14th on the points list and the guy who's 21st on the points list. It's not rewarding who's been the best. It's not identifying the best player. It's who's going to get you the most points when you get to Bethpage. We do it every single week on the show. What do we say? Well, this is a good course for so-and-so. He should be a good fit. Colin Morikawa is a great example. If they were playing a PGA Tour event at Bethpage Black next week, do you look at Morikawa and say, ooh, I love that play. I think he's going to play really well there. I don't even look at him for next week if that's the case. And I do look at a guy like Gotterup. So I hope he makes the team because of that.
Sia, you and Patrick have fairly identical picks here.
Well, it's because I said in the rundown, I like Patrick's pick. I will say, like, I agree with Patrick. That's why my picks are the same. He submitted his first. But I will say that if Sam Burns or Mav McNeely have a great tour championship and Keegan does not, again, have a good tournament, I think Keegan's got to take himself out and put one of those guys in. And when I say great, I'm talking like the top 3, top 4, Sam Burns, Mav McNeely.
I agree with that, Sia.
And that's what I'm going to predict here. So I'm going JT, Morikawa, Cantlay, Ben Griffin, Cam Young, who's played very well lately. And I'm actually going to pick Mav McNeely. I think he's going to have a big week. We'll talk about that during the show. I mean, he's a newcomer. You need, like, Sam Burns does not have a great record in the Ryder Cup. I know Mav McNeely is an unknown, but isn't that not necessarily a bad thing here? And I shared my list with somebody that I consider a pretty knowledgeable guy in terms of golf, and he said I'm crazy for putting McNeely on there. Patrick, I assume you consider him a little boy, but I mean,
yeah, no, he's a toddler at this point, right? He's not even in the tiers quite yet. I would say regarding Burns, his one Ryder Cup was in Rome, which is obviously very different than a home Ryder Cup, and he did accumulate the most points at the President's Cup last year. If that matters.
Okay. I listen, Mav McNeely's it for me. I think Keegan Bradley should not pick himself. I understand if he does, I wouldn't be mad. Going on record, I'm saying that. All right, let's talk.
I want him to pick himself, you know?
Do you? Why?
Chaos.
So we can talk about it. Duh.
I mean, is it more of a story?
It's like I was talking to my buddy at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette U.S. Open week. I'm like, what do you think about Rodgers? I'm a Steelers fan, obviously. He goes, I mean, I don't really know, but it's good for business. Yeah, that's the same thing with Keegan Bradley.
Yes.
I mean, that's fair. All right, let's talk a little Tour Championship, and it is time for storylines. It's time for the storyline segment, sponsored by 5 Hour Energy's new transfusion flavor, inspired by golf's unofficial cocktail. It has hints of grape, lime, and ginger. No alcohol needed. Head to your local retailer or 5hourenergy.com to order yours today. All right, Sobel, we're going to start with you. I mean, what do we do with this event and Scottie Scheffler?
Well, first of all, I don't think the odds makers know what to do with Scottie Scheffler right now. I think that Scottie is so intimidating. The odds makers are like, I don't know what to do. So we talked about it on the early wedge on Sunday morning. Trailing by 4 to Robert McIntyre, in second place on the leaderboard, beating 47 other players, Scottie Scheffler was plus 175 in the live markets. This week at the Tour Championship, going into the event tied with 29 other players, all starting at even par, no staggered scoring, Scottie Scheffler is plus 170, maybe even plus 150 in some books. He's a shorter number, tied with 29 other players, than he was in second place with 18 holes left to play. The odds makers have absolutely no idea what to do with Scottie right now. They're intimidated by, we don't want to lose on the liability on Scottie. I don't blame him really, because he's really good. He's probably going to go out there and win. If you're looking for reasons, he's not going to win. There are reasons out there. He's played this event 5 times and never had the low 72-hole score, although last year he didn't have to have the low 72-hole score. He just won the FedEx Cup and the Tour Championship as it was. So I don't know exactly what to do with Scottie. I think I just avoid him in the outright markets, and I've got a way to play him later in the show that I do like with a little bit better leverage on him. But the odds makers are absolutely nuts at having him as a shorter number in this field than he was on Sunday morning. Am I wrong, guys?
No, you're right.
I don't think you're wrong in it, and I want to give Anderson Andrews a shout out because he said, I hit that ticket thanks to Sobel. We have a lot of people that watch that Sunday morning show, and whether they're taking our picks or they're just taking our analysis, Jason, there were people in the SportsLine Discord, I don't know if it was Anderson or somebody else, that said they took the plus 175 on your recommendation, so props to you for that.
Yeah, I like that.
I thought the tournament was over on Friday with Bobby Mack. I thought we were all done here. The guy had...
I hadn't even started, EC.
This isn't Tommy Fleetwood. Bobby Mack's not Tommy Fleetwood. He knows how to close out tournaments.
Yeah, but
I thought
Scottie Scheffler
tournaments.
Scottie
it's
Scheffler.
more than Tommy Fleetwood.
I didn't know we were comparing them.
I mean, European Ryder Cup. I thought we're done here. I said Bobby Mack at plus 105 on Friday. I'm good thing you didn't have me on the show. See, I would look like a fool on Sunday. I thought it was game set match. All right, Patrick. Let's talk about the funniest FedEx Cup winner. There's a lot of names in here that would be on that list. Who are on the boys of the funniest?
Oh, man. No, well, these would be the big boys of the funniest winners. And he is a big boy for the Ryder Cup. Tommy Fleetwood, he even said it himself this afternoon. He was like, yeah, it would be pretty funny if my first win came at the Tour Championship and I became a FedEx Cup champion. How awesome would that be? This guy getting crap from every which way. All of a sudden, boom, season-long race winner Tommy Fleetwood. Others that I put in this category, Jacob Bridgman, just because I would say of the 30 players in this field to the average golf fan, probably the least well-known.
How dare you?
I don't think that I said average, Sia. You're obviously above average. And then I was looking at Sung J M's approach numbers this year. He is the worst approach player in total on the PGA Tour. Scottie Scheffler has gained 160 strokes on Sung J M with his iron play alone in 2025. Both players are in the field at East Lake. So Sung J M somehow winning the FedEx Cup would be also on the list of funniest winners.
Can I add? Go ahead, EC. Go ahead.
This is the dumbest format for a Tour Championship. I'm going to say that. Go ahead, Sia.
Well, Sung J M being like, forget about the format, like however the point system is rigged or whatever, like Sung J M should not be in the top 30. Give me Ricky Fowler, who, unfortunately doubled down the stretch there. But there's a few guys that and I'm not just talking recency bias. Sung J M, I think he had like a 3-tournament stretch where he was good in April and has been like really bad ever since, with the exception of some good around the green play. Like I can't believe he somehow made the top 30. Another funny guy would be Patrick Cantlay, by the way.
Oh yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But you also have to look at it. John Rahm won the LIV title without winning a tournament all year. Joaquin Niemann won. I'm just saying, Sobel. Joaquin Niemann won 5 times and didn't win the overall title. Yeah, John Rahm, who won 0 times.
By the way, I put something on Twitter yesterday, and like not thinking about Liv. Look, if I wanted to tweet about Liv, I would tweet about Liv. I didn't want to tweet about Liv. I put out there 12 guys in the Tour Championship field haven't won this year. If they were to win this week, it'd be their lone win of the season. It'd be the FedEx Cup champion, and it turned into like, well, Liv, yeah, but the tweeters are out of control right now. Speaking of which, Joseph Boza has inundated the chat with corrupt media. By the way, it's corrupt media. If you're going to do it, get it right. It's not corrupted media. Corrupt media tweets and chats.
Get his ass.
You're watching media guys right now. You tune in to watch guys in the media talk about golf, and you tune in every single week, and we appreciate it. But why are you getting on the media? That's us.
Yeah.
Sobel's fired up. Sobel, you're fired up. I appreciate it on the season finale.
Joseph Boza, your rebuttal. He said, "I'm sorry, I meant corrupt. My bad."
Okay. Well, that's fine.
See, I'm going to save mine for last, but I'll let you go with the real tournament that's taking place this week, in your opinion.
Well, I've been breaking down this Tour Championship, but there's not a lot to break down, right? Because we've got the 30 players and Scotty Scheffler's in the tournament. I just want to put it out there. I'm going to put out some picks for the British Masters. I gave out some DP World Tour picks last week, some outrights. There was like 5 outrights. 3 of them actually played pretty well. So I'm going to take another shot at it. And I just want everybody to know that there are fall events where people like myself will be on the early edge. Maybe we'll have some early wedge shows that you gotta kind of stay tuned for that. But, the Pro Tour comes up in 3 weeks, full field cut event. Like we're going to get tournaments during football season, the Sanderson Farms, the Bay Current, which used to be the Zozo. November's chock full of tournaments. I think there's 3, maybe 4 tournaments in November. So, this event is it's fine. I'm not super intrigued by the Tour Championship, but we also got the British Masters, and we got some cut events, some normal events coming up that aren't going to have Scotty Scheffler in them. Congratulations.
Go ahead, Patrick. Yeah.
Regarding the British Masters, it is the final week of European qualification for the Ryder Cup. No points for the Tour Championship, only at the British Masters. Rasmus Højgaard needs a 2-way tie for 29th or better to get that final automatic qualifying spot, and would pretty much lock up the 12 on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Harry Hall should be on the team. And after what Højgaard did to me in live betting that event last week in his home country, and he couldn't even finish against Marco Penge, did I get that right?
Yes.
Penge?
You did get it right.
Yeah.
Never bet against Marco Penge. Marco Penge was suspended for betting on golf earlier this year. How do you bet against him?
Yeah,
that's our guy.
You know what's funny, Jason? I was between him. I had mostly mid to long shots last week. I was between him and Christopher Wrighton for like my short shot outright. If I had remembered Penge was that gambling guy because it was kind of even, I would have gone with Penge. I would have hit it outright. I went with Wrighton instead, who I like this week as well.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little Scotty Scheffler. Is he on the best run that we've seen since prime Tiger Woods? I have a little stat for you, and this is courtesy of Data Golf, and a little trivia question for you guys too. So per Data Golf, of the 14 greatest seasons in the modern era, I think since like 1983, in terms of strokes gained, Tiger has 9 of them. Scheffler's last 3 are in there, with 2025 being the best all time in that period outside of Tiger as the top 6. Can you name the other 2 golfers on that list outside of Scotty Scheffler and Tiger Woods who were in the top 14 for greatest seasons in the last 40-something years? Go ahead, Sobel.
Without going through stats, when you said, is this the greatest stretch that we've seen since Tiger? And again, stretch can mean entire season, stretch can mean 3 months. But I immediately thought of Jason Day back in 2015, who was electric from June or July through the end of the season. He was fantastic that year. I'm guessing that he may not have done it for the entire year, but I'm telling you, like, he got to number 1 that year. He won the PGA Championship. He was playing great golf. It was probably a smaller stretch than we're looking at, so he might not have made it. I'm looking at
you could have given me 25 guesses, and I wouldn't have come close to at least one of the names on this list. Patrick, are you cheating? Do you know the answers? Or do you
I think I know one of them. I think I know the one that you don't.
Okay.
Vijay Singh. Incorrect.
Actually, 1993, Greg Norman is on that list, and he actually
we're going back far.
Yeah. Okay. And then 2013, Steve Stricker is on that list.
What was the question again?
Most strokes gained.
Most strokes gained.
Yeah.
Okay.
Per round or per event. Tiger Woods has the top 6. Scotty Scheffler is the best golfer in the PGA Tour since Tiger Woods, bar none. I don't think there's any debate, and that's why he could be minus 105 this week, and I'm still having a multiple unit play on him. I'm going to tell you that. And we'll talk about that later in the show. All right, this was the Storyline segment sponsored by 5 Hour Energy's new transfusion flavor with as much caffeine as a premium cup of coffee and 0 sugar in a compact bottle. 5 Hour Energy is ready when and where you are, whether that be on the green or in the rough. So grab your crew, get your energy, and tee off with 5 Hour Energy's new transfusion flavor, available in stores or online at 5hourenergy.com. And I know you guys have waited all year to have me chug this, so I'm going to wait until I pitch it off to one of you for FRLs. And then I'm going to do just that. Hey, it's only 4:20 here in Arizona. So, we might as well have, I'll be up late. So why not? Let's have a little fun with it.
Some people do other things at 4:20. You do 5 Hour Energy.
Hey, to each their own. Sobel, let's go to you, FRLs, while I take down my 5 Hour Energy to live up to my promise. Where are you starting?
So I am starting at the top. I said that I could find value in Scotty Scheffler at some point on the board right now. And Scotty's at plus 500, 5-1 in the first round leader market. I actually like that. If you want to play Scotty, let's just take Scotty going out to essentially give himself a staggered scoring start by taking the first round lead. So I like him there at about 3 times the number than we're getting in the outright markets. Then I'll go Ben Griffin as well. And Ben Griffin, I've got to go back and look at this, but Ben Griffin essentially is I'm pulling it up here because the numbers are really good. He's ranked 20th in round 1 scoring average this season. He's posted 67 or better in 8 of his last 12 opening rounds, but 3 of the 4 where he didn't were major championships. So 67 or better in 7 of his last 8 non-major rounds, scoring average of 66.78 over that time.
Sold me on that. I'm good. By the way, can we talk about Versex Sobel? Ben Griffin's round on Sunday was one of the greatest rounds of golf on the PGA Tour I have ever seen in my entire life.
Shut up. Ever?
Patrick, he goes, he 4 putts the first hole and goes triple, double, single. He's 6 over through 3 and has 7 birdies in the final 15 holes.
It's kind of easy once you're already 6 over, but yeah, I'm with Patrick. I've seen better rounds. Not after a guy overdosed on creatine on the first tee and admitted it.
Is that what he said he did?
Yeah.
That's what happens. He usually takes creatine every morning. He forgot to take it. He put it into his water on the first hole. He said it kind of clumped up and it got caught in his throat. And then like by the first green, he was all shaky, 4-putted. And by the second tee, he didn't know what he was doing. He just hit one out of bounds, and his caddy handed him a bottle of water and said, drink this entire thing right now. And he kind of settled down. That's what happened. So
that's kind of a weird excuse because back in law school and in college, I would take creatine, but instead of mixing it into water, I would take the full scoop. I would it tasted gross. I would just down it and then, basically chase it with some sort of like sports drink. And I don't remember, maybe I'm just different, but I don't remember feeling like I OD'd on something. Just throwing it out there, Ben Griffin.
No,
maybe you just had a bad few holes.
I don't think you can OD on creatine, honestly. I think it was just that meme of the woman in the frozen food aisle and she has like a bag of frozen peas on her head. It's like, I love my girlfriend. She's so crazy. That's kind of what I thought about with Ben Griffin.
An amazing round of golf. One of the great rounds in EC's opinion. One of the great rounds of golf.
By the way, if it was 20 years ago, back in the juiced ball era when guys were hitting 70 home runs a year, Ben Griffin on creatine would have been front page headlines. We would have been talking all about PEDs, and he's got to be suspended for that and stuff like that.
Sia, let's talk about players who are probably not on PEDs for FRLs. Your 2 picks, who should both be on Ryder Cup teams?
Well, one of them has the physique to feel like he might be. Ludwig plus 1,600 to be your first round leader. I've got 2 here and Cameron Young. Listen, I'm going for guys I know this is going to be kind of the full test and you want to be somewhat accurate. I'm looking for guys who've got the distance and the accuracy, and Cameron Young and Ludwig check those boxes. Guys that can fill it up with the putter as well. We've seen Cameron Young do it. And I got to say, at Caves Valley last week, I was there for Friday, but even just watching Thursday on TV and Friday, Ludwig was missing some putts that were very, very makeable. His approach play was really, really dialed in. So I could absolutely see him winning this tournament. And I'm kind of FOMOing the fact that I don't have him as one of my outrights, because you'll see the guy I actually do have, you're going to kind of chuckle at. But either way, I like Cameron Young as an outright. I like him as a first round leader, and I'll take Ludwig in the first round leader market as well.
I can't argue with any of those picks. Cam Young is FRL. I mean, listen, he's still playing for Ryder Cup spot. I like that pick a lot. I just don't like the odds 20, but then again, 30-player field. So what do you expect? Coming up next, this is one of the strangest tournament matchup sections that I can remember. We're picking players that probably shouldn't be in this event. A few of them. We're gonna talk about them after we hear from one of our sponsors.
Here we go. The 2025 CBS Sports NFL schedule is here. 18 glorious Sundays.
He's got his receiver touchdown.
Filled with rematches.
Oh, the play of the year.
And rivalries.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Plus, plenty of superstar showdowns. And an epic matchup between the Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Clear your Sundays beginning September 7th for the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
I want to give a shout out to our guy, Rick Gaiman in the chat, who's joining us.
Yes.
Rick, very cool to have you here. Your website is the best when it comes to, this is where, I mean, we all do our homework. At least I do all my homework. So Rick, thank you for all that you do. And I'm bummed that I only get to do one show with you this year. All right, let's move on to our matchups. Patrick, we're going to start with you. A player that, once again, a guy that we really haven't talked about on the show in a long time, the lefty, Brian Harmon. I guess the lefty versus lefty matchup. Yeah.
Yeah. Lefty on lefty.
Why Brian
crime.
Harmon? Why Brian
Hate
Harmon?
to see it. I mean, a lot of pressure on now that Rick's in the chat. So hopefully he likes the value on this one. I know he's all about the plus EV game. So I'm going Harmon, even money over Akshay Bhatia. Someone, speaking of people DMing me, told me the correct way to say Akshay is Akshay. So I'm going with Akshay Bhatia. A random DM has never led me astray. Never. Always trust a random DM. Those are wise words to live by. But Harmon's been playing like sneaky good golf, right? Top 20 at the BMW. I know, like kind of meh, but hit it really well. Bad golf course for him. He played well at St. Jude Championship, hit it well also. Bhatia, one time at East Lake, didn't play great. I just like Harmon. Overall game on a better golf course for him at a better price. So I'm taking him at even money.
So in the chat, Joey B says, Gaiman and McDonald food stories from the PGA Championship. We need more of that content. Somebody also mentioned earlier, Patrick, that they want a travel segment. You know how we have Sobel Storytime. We want travel with Patrick. Anything you want to reply to either of those?
When you get Rick and I on limited sleep, limited food, because the PGA of America refused to feed us, we were, we shackled ourselves to the fridges there in the media center, and they refused to feed us. You get some pretty funny stories of just us being delirious, pretty much.
That's kind of unfortunate. I'm disappointed in the PGA of America. All right, Sobel, let's talk your two picks, including a guy. I want to start with Jacob Bridgman because it's a guy that we talked about, like probably shouldn't be in this event, kind of the weirdest name that Patrick mentioned earlier that's in this field, and you're picking him to beat the aforementioned Sung Jae Im.
Well, and look, I'm fine with Bridgman. I mean, I don't love him this week by any means. I'm kind of neutral.
How dare you?
Is, by all means, a fade of Sungjae Im, who should not be here. Guys, Patrick beat me to the punch earlier in the show, but I have a feeling Sungjae broke into and hacked the PGA Tour supercomputers and changed the algorithm and the formula a little bit. I have absolutely no idea how this guy is in. I get it. A couple of top fives very, very early in the year. Maybe we're all trying to fix the FedEx Cup this time of year. Maybe it's like the points accumulate more as the year continues so that a third place in January is not the same as a third place in July. I don't know. I'm trying to at least make this a little bit better, but Sungjae doesn't feel like a guy who should be in the Tour Championship right now, and I am fading him to the ball striking. Has been absolutely terrible. Never seen a guy ride a hot wedge game for 4 months to get into the Tour Championship. Then my other one, I'm basically just taking Harris English with all the weight lifted from his shoulders, got himself into the top 6 automatic qualifiers over Justin Thomas. Good number there on Harris, who's played well in some big ballparks. And JT is it's just not the same JT. And I think we officially, I feel like we've spent a lot of time worrying about Patrick Cantlay on the Ryder Cup team, worrying about Colin Morikawa and how he's playing and how that'll affect the Ryder Cup team. And Keegan Bradley, will he or won't he? And if he does, how's it going to affect him? We haven't spent enough time worrying about Justin Thomas yet. we need to start worrying about Justin Thomas when it comes to Bethpage next month.
All right, 2 stats for you here, Sobel. Justin Thomas, 8 appearances at Eastlake, 8 top 10s without starting strokes. I mean, does that scare you, or do we not care about that?
Yeah, sure. I'm scared.
The other thing, I'm surprised you and Patrick didn't mention, Brian Harmon, Harris English, Georgia guys. Does that play into it at all?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It's part of my trend analysis.
Okay, fair enough. See, I don't know how you follow that up with Justin Rose over Shane Lowry, but let's hear it.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, I got to give Shot Like Harden a shout out in the chat because he might be an investigative journalist. He says the creatine probably had pre-workout in the mix. Now that I can believe, right? If you have like NO Explode or one of those like, pre-workouts with the creatine, like some sort of cocktail, then you would be like really jittery and you wouldn't function very well. I'm sorry. What was the question? You wanted me to go over my matchups? I just think that's super interesting.
Justin Rose and Shane Lowry. We'll start there.
Sure, of course. Yeah, Justin Rose over Shane Lowry. Talk about guys going with in opposite directions, opposite trajectories. Shane Lowry, look what he's done over the last 4 tournaments. I mean, it's pretty bad. And if you wanted to have the opinion that some of these guys are here to collect a paycheck, I'm not saying Shane Lowry is that guy. I'm not saying he's not, because he's just not in good form. I don't know if he's tired or the heat is getting to him or whatever, but Justin Rose is on the other side of that coin. I'm fading him in this top English market below, but I think I can win both bets quite easily because I don't think Shane Lowry is going to have a very good tournament. And I could see Justin Rose finishing between top 10 and top 20, certainly flash the upside to finish a lot better than that, especially lately. Strokes gain metrics really matching up with the finishing positions over the last 4 tournaments as well. Top English, I'm going with Tommy Fleetwood, -125 over Harry Hall. Justin Rose gave this out on the early edge this morning. It's -125 over at DK. It's -140 in some other places. But again, Justin Rose, I don't think over 4 rounds is the caliber of Tommy Fleetwood, although he proved us all wrong on that a couple of weeks ago. But I just think typically you're going to see Fleetwood be better than Rose. And Harry Hall, speaking of guys that are kind of leaning on the around the green play, I mean, and the putter as well, his ball striking just hasn't been good. And I think at a certain point, it's going to catch up to him, especially when you're talking about him going up against Tommy Fleetwood. Yeah, he bails himself out with the short game, but I like Tommy Fleetwood in this market. It's effectively a 3-ball. I think he's way better than both of these guys over 4 rounds. So give me Tommy Fleetwood, top English.
Hall's the best putter on tour by far. I'm actually surprised that you guys don't consider him even a Ryder Cup semi-candidate. Sobel, am I crazy for that?
I mean, we're on the same side as Luke Donald, who apparently isn't looking at him either because he hasn't fitted him for any of the gear, hasn't called him up, hasn't texted him. So, I mean, I'd rather be on Luke Donald's side than Eric Cohen's side.
Here's the thing, if Højgaard grabs the last auto spot, Harry Hall is not on the team. Like, there's a 0% chance.
And he's got, I mean, if he doesn't finish T29, he doesn't belong on the Ryder Cup team. Right.
Exactly.
He's still getting picked. Rasmus is getting picked over Harry Hall either way.
Yeah.
I think that's a mistake. After what I saw from that
Aaron Rye would get picked over Harry Hall.
Really?
Yeah. Nikolai Højgaard would get picked over.
Speaking this pick that I'm making here, sometimes you just don't love the pick, but you have to go with it. Hideki Matsuyama has not finished in the top 10 since he won at the Century. Wouldn't it be so Hideki Matsuyama to bookend his season with wins or ridiculous finishes? And we're getting +180 to beat Corey Connors, Sung Jae Im, and Nick Taylor. You guys have talked about Im, Sung Jae, why he's not right. Taylor hasn't really done anything lately, and Corey Connors isn't the same since he hurt his wrist and had to pull out the other month of that event. I mean, Hideki has finished inside the top 10 at this event without starting strokes 3 times. He's gained at least multiple strokes on approach in his previous 6 tournaments before last week, so we'll throw that one out. He's playing some semi-decent golf, and I just don't think he's going up against much. So +180 is some value for me. I will ride that and play that this week at that value. All right, let's move on to finishing positions. And you're going to notice a trend here. It's a lot of Tommy Fleetwood talk. So, Sobel, I'm going to start with you well, give us Andrew Novak first and then lead into Tommy Fleetwood.
All right, I got to go to the preview that I wrote earlier this week on Andrew Novak because there's some great stats. Last week, he was DFL. He played terrible, and a lot of people are betting against him this week. In fact, the odds makers have enlisted Andrew Novak with the longest odds in this field. Again, Sung Jae Im is playing this week, and Andrew Novak has the longest odds. Okay, This is straight from the preview that I wrote earlier this week for BetMGM. The truth is, some of Novak's best performances this season have come directly after some of his worst. He missed the cut at the Amex, finished solo third at the Farmers Insurance the very next week. He missed the cut at the WM Phoenix Open, T13 the next week at the Genesis, MC'd at the Texas Children's Houston Open, T3 the very next week at the Valero, MC'd at the PGA Championship, T11 at the Charles Schwab, and MC'd at the Wyndham Championship, and went T6 the very next week at the FedEx St. Jude. I don't know. Some guys are momentum guys. They need to play well going into events. Apparently, Andrew Novak is a guy who needs to play terribly, and that's when you should pick him after he misses the cut. So he didn't miss the cut last week only because there wasn't one. He was 20 over par for 4 rounds. Means he's going to win this thing this week.
Going to Tommy Fleetwood. Speaking of guys who are not going to win this week, it's Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, no, he's not going to win, but he's going to play really well. Hopefully we catch him on one of those backdoor top 5, so he's not like ripping his heart out and going on TV and telling us, how gut-wrenching it was. But, hey, maybe next year I'll get him and we'll try to play some good golf. Maybe it's just one of those, like, feel-good top 5s instead of the heartbreaking top 5s. But he's playing great golf right now on a Ball Strikers golf course. Got to take him.
I have no issue with it at all. Patrick, you're playing Fleetwood and Henley in a top 10, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, top 10 parlay plus 220. And the more I'm listening to you guys, the more I want to pick Tommy Fleetwood to win this golf tournament. Which
you're not doing it.
I've never gotten involved in, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see if I change my mind. I likely will by the end of this show. But yeah, Ball Strikers golf course, like Sobel said, Fleetwood, I think probably the third best player on the PGA Tour this season, and then Russell Henley, the second best player in the world. So it's pretty simple here with this top 10 parlay.
Can't argue with that. Sia, I love your parlay as well. Cam Young's playing like the third best player in the world.
I like Patrick's parlay better than mine personally, but I will take the bigger number here. So I'm going to have Tommy Fleetwood. This is a top 10 parlay as well with Cameron Young. What I like about Cameron Young last week is that he had a few disaster holes and he really rebounded from them. So I think you give him 4 rounds and he can have a couple of bad holes here and there. I think he's live to win if the ball striking is great, but he's the type of guy that's going to battle through the 4 rounds. He's got a lot to play for, just like we talked about earlier, a lot of money to play for as well. But I think he's going to end up finding himself inside the top 10. So I'll take Fleetwood Young T10 plus 300.
I think it's a great bet. I'm going to roll with the Jason Sobel strategy. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. It's time for a little ladder time. You did that with Jackson Coyven the other week. It really worked out well for you in one of the lesser tournaments. So I'm going, how about Mav McNeely, top 5, plus 430 and top 10, plus 150. Of his 5 top 5s this season, 4 have come in non-full field events, which have been in signature events where the purse money is elevated. This guy steps up. I still think, as you can tell if you watched earlier in the show, that I think he is a Ryder Cup candidate. Maybe I'm off base with that, but I still think that. I'm not going to project him gaining 9 strokes putting as he did last week, but he possesses the all-around game to find success in Atlanta on his debut at this event. And then Harris English, top 5 plus 470 and top 10 at plus 160. He's a Georgia native. And here's what I love, the most meaningless of trends. We all know Scottie Scheffler's winning this event. Harris English finished second to Scottie Scheffler at the PGA Championship, second to Scottie Scheffler at the Open Championship, and he's going to finish potentially second to Scottie Scheffler at the Tour Championship, or thereabouts, or close to that. Coming up next, we're going to celebrate the Do Not Bet list because it's been a really good year after last year, which was not so good, after we hear from one of our sponsors.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
Got to give my guy Xavier82 some props in the chat. He wants to do cross-sport parlays with golf, tennis, college football make the playoffs, MLB futures, NFL futures. That is smart thinking. I will always approve of that. And we know Sobel's going to do the same thing, as am I. So, this is how you do it. If you are a parlay player, the savvy gambler, Sia Nejad's going, you guys are crazy. But you'll throw in some parlays. So, Sia, I want to see on the early edge, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, I want to see some crazy parlays from the crew at some point over the next few weeks.
That's fine. I think I can oblige there.
Okay.
Sorry, I was sidetracked. I'm trying to think of the creatine thing some more. Xavier82 is mentioning C4. C4 might have been one of the items possibly potentially mixed with the creatine because it kind of peps you up, but you also get that because creatine's not really going to liven you up. I'm sorry, what were we talking about again?
C4 makes you tingle, man.
It does. I'm not a big fan of C4. NO Explode is a different story though, and it tastes delicious. The grape, again, where were we?
Grape.
You guys are speaking a foreign language to me here. Who knows nothing about these things. But you know what I do know about? The do not bet list. Only losing 2 players in 25 weeks to this point. And let's be honest, we're not going to lose any this week. Patrick Cantlay is not going to win. Shane Lowry's not going to win. Sung Jae's for sure not going to win. And we know Tommy Fleetwood is not going to win. Corey Connors, Morikawa, Burns, don't have to worry about them either. I think we're safe here. 2 out of 26. Going to feel pretty good. Sobel, am I in danger in the least here?
Look, this is not a without Scheffler do not bet list, so you're probably okay. But there's a couple of names that I could see, and at least in that market.
Patrick? Is it bad for the PGA Tour if Scottie Scheffler doesn't win this event?
No.
He's having one of the greatest seasons of all time and doesn't win the FedEx Cup.
Yeah, that happens.
Come on.
Patriots,
yeah.
Giants.
Yeah, exactly. Like that happens in sports all the time. And honestly, I think it would kick them in the butt to figure this out sooner too.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough.
You know, by the way, can I rant for another 30 seconds here?
Sure.
Because this is the biggest problem the FedEx Cup has had over the last 20 years is the lack of an identity, the lack of any definition to what they're doing. And what I mean by that is it's sort of the season-long race to the FedEx Cup, and it's sort of, hey, playoffs, anyone can get hot and win, and they're kind of trying to do both of them, and you can't do both. You have to pick one or the other. If you want to pick, it's a season-long race. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Fine. Scottie Scheffler's going to be ahead of everybody going away, and it's not really going to be give a trophy to someone else, give a check to somebody else if you want, but Scottie Scheffler is going to be the FedEx Cup champion. If you want to make it a postseason surge and everyone just try to play your best for 3 weeks, then you've got to have a different format than you have right now. And I guess it's better than staggered scoring, but they're trying to kind of talk out of both sides of their mouth. And I know it's a bridge year and they're going to fix something, but moving forward, that's the biggest thing that needs to be fixed is a definition, an identity to what they actually want this thing to be.
The match play. That's what we all want to see. I want to see. Well,
I don't want to see it.
There are ways to do it where you have 8 guys that are still playing on Sunday.
Yeah, you have 2 guys go to the Tour Championship, Scotty and Rory, and you let them play each against each other. And you tell them it's tied through 17 holes, and then you put them 30 feet from the hole on 18, and you let each of them putt. And it's going to be like, whoa, someone made a 30-footer to Rory beat Scotty or Scotty beat Rory. That's the only thing that's going to get people excited. I'm telling you.
We got to find it. We got to find something better than this. All right, let's get to outrights. And there's one person on the panel who is not afraid of Scottie Scheffler this week. Is he crazy? Patrick McDonald. I think you are. I think you are.
About it, baby.
You got 3 picks. What do you got?
Yeah. So if you tuned in Sunday, these were the 3 names I gave out as we were going through them. Russell Henley's been bet down a little bit, but I still like it at 20-1. I bet him at 25. That's the only bet I have in as of now. And so I'm monitoring English and Harmon. But as I mentioned, and after EC just peacocked his way around that do not bet list, I think I'm going to throw a bet in on Tommy Fleetwood.
No, yes.
I'm going to throw a bet in on Tommy Fleetwood. I have to look at the numbers currently. So I will be dropping English and Harmon. And I will be adding, I guess, another English in his own right. Tommy Fleetwood is 14-1. Is that the best price right now?
Horrendous odds.
Well, they're not great, but you can take it to the without market for plus 1,000 if you want to come up.
14-1. No. He's getting the real win this week, Sia.
All right.
And do they have exacta odds on? They have to have exacta odds on.
Yeah.
That.
Sure.
Okay. So as of now, the tournament outrights right now, 2 really short ones, which I don't like. Tommy Fleetwood 14-1 and Russell Henley, I believe best price out currently is 20-1. Those are my 2 bets.
Oh, we like your Georgia.
I was going to see what kind of number can we get on Tommy, or excuse me, on Scotty in the without Tommy market?
100 to 1.
The fact that Patrick is really adding Tommy Fleetwood to his card. You had such a good Georgia card, and you're ruining it.
I love this card.
Just it's a good
bona
card.
fide winners.
These are 2 top 10s as well.
Yeah,
Sia, you are picking Tommy in the exacta market of, in a way, the without Scotty market. So you think we could see a Scotty Tommy 1-2 finish? 10 to 1 though, Sia. Is that really a good number there?
If I may, is it possible that Ben Griffin actually thinks he OD'd on creatine because his caddy convinced him of that because he was playing so poorly after 3 rounds? Ooh. And when they were talking about what was going on, his caddy was like, "Oh, what'd you eat in the morning?" He said, "Oh, I took my creatine." And then he said, "Oh, you didn't take it with water." And then long story short, the caddy was like, maybe psychologically I can convince him that he'll be fixed if he drinks water post creatine. That's what happened. So Ben Griffin actually thinks he OD'd on creatine. I'm sorry, what was the question?
I'm lost here. Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood.
So when you look at this field, I think there are so many guys, I mean, that have the upside, right? We're always playing that upside game. We did it with Xander previously. We've been doing it with Victor Hovland. We're doing it with Ludwig, and Ludwig is the one that makes the most sense here in terms of that top tier. But when you look at the guys that are just going to play the type of golf that's not going to get anybody into trouble, there's like 3 names on that list. I mean, maybe Henley is one of those names, but it's Scotty Scheffler, it's Tommy Fleetwood, and then maybe like 1 or 2 other guys. So when I take Scotty Scheffler out of the equation, I really think I don't love the number. Of course, I don't love the number, but I also think if this is going to be a ball striking test and a tee to green test and have to be a decent putter and have to check all of those boxes, I think there's a few guys that can do it, but I think Tommy Fleetwood is the type of guy that is going to be in the conversation on Sunday. And if I can have Scotty Scheffler with a big lead on Sunday, which is what I was hoping at the FedEx St. Jude, then perhaps Tommy Fleetwood won't have the pressure and he'll just comfortably finish second, 6 shots back, but 5 shots ahead of the 3rd place guy. I don't know. I'm just talking, but Cameron Young's my other guy. I talked about it on the early edge on Monday, 20 to 1 in the without market. Again, I'm playing the upside there, just like anybody who's playing the Ludwig upside or I don't know. There's a handful of guys, again, that can win this thing if they're playing great, including Sam Burns. I think Cameron Young is that guy this week.
Sobel, Sam Burns, 16 to 1 for a guy that is on the do not bet list. Now, this is to lose to Scotty. I get it. Mm-hmm. You really think Sam Burns can lose to his buddy Scotty and finish second?
I'll set the scene for you, EC. Final pairing Sunday afternoon at East Lake. Scotty Scheffler up by 5. He taps in to be the FedEx Cup champion. Sam Burns rolls in a birdie to finish 4 back. And in second place, Bennett Scheffler runs out there to the final green. And here comes his buddy Bear Burns holding a without Scheffler ticket on dad. And he's like, we got the win. We got it. Good birdie on the last. And Sam Burns cashes these tickets. And just in case he doesn't, maybe Hideki's kid will run out on the final green too. Hideki, by the way, it would be, we were talking about with Patrick, funniest storylines for winners. How about Hideki going bookends and winning the first event, winning the last event, and having 0 other top 10 finishes this year?
Would be nonsensical. It's totally nonsensical. So in the rundown, I mean, Scotty Scheffler plus 150. If you're just watching the show on mute, you think I'm a fool. But normally, for my outright plays, I like to weight them at about a quarter of a unit each. This one is a 4-unit play for me. Scotty Scheffler, 4 units. It's the equivalent of like a 24 to 1, right? Like the same return. I think Scotty Scheffler is going to win this tournament without much trouble. And I think I'm going to end up, even though I'm ahead a little bit with my outright and FRL units this year, I'm going to end up even more up when Scotty Scheffler wins this golf tournament. I also really like Russell Henley this week. I think Patrick made a really good pick here. I have him at 14 to 1 in the without Scheffler market. It says 20 on the screen, but it's about 14 to 1. You can get that at DK. Without starting strokes, he has finishes at 3rd and 4th at East Lake. He's, as Patrick has said, 9 top 10s in 17 events this season. Outside of Scheffler, been arguably the best American player on the planet this year. I mean, excluding Liv and Bryson. I'm just saying, you got a Georgia guy. I'm all in at plus 1,400. So we're taking some shots here. Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley go 1-2. I'm going to be throwing a party at my house during my fantasy football draft. You are welcome to join virtually
What pick you got?
from across the country. Yeah. There you
What
go.
pick you got?
I have pick 10, and it is third round reversal. Do you know what that is, Patrick?
Oh, it switches,
Sounds-
goes the other way.
So it goes 1 to 12, 12 to 1, and then it goes 12 to 1 again in the third round, and then snake. So that's why I have pick 10, pick 15, and pick 27.
My brain.
So we're going with it.
Who's the first round guy you're targeting?
Christian McCaffrey at 10.
He's not dropping at 10. No, not dropping.
In my league, I think he will.
Once it comes around to like draft time, people are going to be like, CMC's on the board, and they're at like 7. They're gonna take CMC.
Now, I hate to admit
PPR?
this. It is PPR. I hate to admit this in the show. This is the 29th year of my league. I'm not that old. I started this as a freshman in high school. In the 28 previous years, I have 0 wins.
Jesus.
0.
Oh, God.
That's
I
really
have
bad.
won
I
a lot of
can't.
other leagues.
Yeah.
I am 0 for. This league is probably older than Patrick McDonald. And I have, in Patrick's lifetime, I have never won my own fantasy football league. And it's pretty gross to admit that.
Well, you see, I'm in the
Proud
same
of you.
boat. I'm in one that's, I think this is year 10,
Mhm.
and I'm the only guy. I'm one of 2 guys who haven't won. And I looked at my record because you can. I am 500, average finishing position, 5th out of 10. I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers of fantasy football.
Not winning in 10 years is not that bad, though.
That's not that
And
bad. 28
circumstantially,
years
things
is-
can happen in the playoffs when you had a few good seasons.
Okay,
It's-
thank you. Okay, I feel better.
29 years is actually.
Yeah, you're a
bad.
loser,
That's
dude.
objectively bad.
All of the other 11 players in the league have won, including 6 of them who've beaten me for their first title in the league.
Do they all have like signs and banners like in their
yeah.
backgrounds when you get on the
it's
Zoom
bad.
call, like just making fun
It's-
of you?
How many finals have you made? Does that mean you made 6 finals?
7 finals.
Okay,
28
that's a little bit better now.
That's tough. You're the Buffalo
that's
Bills.
it.
I am the Buffalo Bills.
Coaching.
Yeah. So everything that could go wrong goes wrong. I had a dream team a couple years ago. I thought it was it. One story for you. It's EC Storytime last episode. So 2005, Torrey Holt. It was the last game of the season. They're playing the Cowboys. I needed him to get 1 catch. I was down a third of a point. There were 2 minutes left. Jamie Martin, who was the quarterback at the time for the Rams, throws him a screen pass. Torrey Holt drops it. So 10 years after this, I tweeted Torrey Holt and I said, "Hey, Torrey, I hate to admit this.
This guy.
He actually talked about me on his radio show. And he's like, he remembered the game. He remembered the play that I was talking about. I lost by a third of a point in a total points league at the time because Torrey Holt dropped the screen pass from Jamie Martin in 2000.
So we know
Yeah.
we know where your ridiculous memory came from. That play. All the
This is
bad
why
beats you've ever had.
This is why, and Max
Starting
Grazerman the other month is not quite at Torrey Holt level of bad beat in terms of pride, in terms of money. Yeah, definitely. So this is why I remember my worst losses over my greatest wins.
Torrey.
Bad karma, by the way.
Mhm.
You tweet at players for dropping screen passes.
Only time I've ever done it, Sobel. Only
You know
time.
what? Doesn't
10
matter.
years
You
later.
still haven't won, and you still haven't won.
It was 10 years
karma.
later, though. Like
Doesn't
that's
matter.
Long retired.
You
I
thought
don't know if
about
that's
it
good
for
or
10
bad.
years.
Torrey
Wait,
Holt's a
wait,
great
wait.
guy.
10 years later, you just like out of the blue tweeted at him.
I was like, this is the
You're like, you
10-year
remember that
anniversary.
screen pass 10
It's-
years ago,
that's what I
dude?
said.
Did you
What I
ask him
said.
if he took creatine before the game?
I did not do that. I'm sure he probably did. It's
So,
nothing to do.
real
Like
quick,
pants for
when I
shape.
was first starting at ESPN or like a year or two in, I was working on all the NFL shows, NFL Countdown and NFL Tonight, they used to call it back in the day on ESPN2. In any case, working with some of those guys, we all know how golfers, like you could ask Scotty Scheffler about his second shot into 14 at Colonial 7 years ago. And he's like, oh yeah, I pulled that one a little bit. And like these guys have a photographic memory when it comes to that stuff. You get football players, at least the ones who haven't been hit in the head too often. You ask them questions about like, hey, I remember that game, and like they will tell you 2nd and 13, quarterback threw an out to the left, and we gained 7 on that play, and then went to 3rd and like they know exactly what's going on. As long the good ones do, at least.
You guys have to admit this. You have to remember your worst losses as well, if not better than your greatest wins. True or false?
True.
Patrick?
I'm addicted to the process, man. I'm already forgetting about the results.
Nah. Max Grazerman, I will not forget. Billy Horschel at the Wyndham in 2020. I will not forget that one either. It's a choke. All right, let's move on to long shots, where we can make back some Max Grazerman money with some parlays that I'm throwing in here. This is just a whack. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what to make of the screen.
Looks
Go ahead, Sobel.
Looks like a cocktail menu.
I mean, really.
This does look like a cocktail menu. You're
Sobel,
right.
I'm going to start with you. Go ahead with this one.
Yeah, so the 18,000 to 1 parlay, if you missed the show last week, you saved yourself $1. Congratulations. You didn't ride with us, but for those that did, thank you. I appreciate your confidence in the play, and we're going to get them this week, and we're going to get them at some shorter odds this week. I'm going Rasmus Højgaard, the aforementioned Rasmus, trying to get himself on the Ryder Cup team. Finished second last week. He was, I believe, third at the British Masters last year. He was top 5, playing some good golf. I'm all in on Rasmus Højgaard this week. And Stuart Sink, there's been some weird winners on PGA Tour champions. By the way, that's the tour to play. Like if you're sitting there, if you're really paying attention and you know who's playing well, where, and you can find a little edge there. Stuart Sink is the defending champion. He's been top 3 in each of his last 3 starts. It's not a big number, but it's still about 3 or 4 times bigger than Scotty. So I will parlay him with Rasmus, and then I've also got the same parlay with Scotty thrown in there. Might as well just round robin the 3 of them and play them together.
332 to 1. Let's go, Sobel. I like that one. All right, Sia. This is an interesting one. You got Tommy without Scotty. I get that. Where do you come up with Jordan Smith in the without market for this British Masters?
I'm now looking at the Ally Challenge. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
It is, yeah.
So Stuart Sink at plus 550. He's the leader. I want to bet this now. Like I want to bet him and maybe Padraig Harrington. Plus 900.
Wait. Who?
Padraig. Here we go. Parlay. Tommy Fleetwood in the without Scheffler market. And then we're going to go Jordan Smith from the British Masters without Rye, Noren, Penge, Fitzpatrick, and Wallace. It's 186 to 1. I have other outrights, but I don't want to officially put them out for the British Masters. So I'm going to wait on that one. But, put $1 on this. Put $2 on it. You'll win 400.
See, do you know what they call Jordan Smith on the DP World Tour?
Michael Jordan Smith?
No.
Oh, Jordan L. Smith.
Jordan L. Smith. Do you know what they call him?
No.
Tommy Fleetwood of the DP World Tour.
He's
been out there forever. He has 2 wins, the 2017 Porsche European Open, the 2022 Portugal Masters. Other than that, he's a guy that plays really good golf and never wins over there.
Yeah, without market. Here we are.
Love it.
So I'm doing my captain's pick parlay because all these guys want to get picked. So I had the 6 guys that I mentioned earlier in the show to finish in the top 10. JT, Cantlay, Morikawa, Cam Young, Ben Griffin, and Mav McNeely combined at 144 to 1. And then we have the Jason Sobel Golf Degen parlay, not quite full Sobel. We have Torque GC to win Live Michigan, the team championship that has Joaquin Neiman, Sebastian Munoz, who won last week, Carlos Ortiz, and the recently demoted Mito Pereira.
Wow,
they've been top 2.
What's Mito's motivation level right now? He got demoted, but he's still got to go out to the team event and go play.
If he wins, it's maybe somebody will want him. I don't know. These are top 5s here. Lottie Wout in honor of Sobel.
Yes.
And Matt Fitzpatrick at the British Masters. And this Torque GC Lottie top 5 and Matt Fitzpatrick top 5 pays 74 to 1. I was not ready to go full Sobel outright, but this is somewhat of a golf degen that we can play at 74 to 1. Sobel, do you approve?
I'm more of a high flyers guy this week. I think it's going to be a nice week for them, but
Really?
I'll buy on Torque a little bit.
Man, what's Ripper at? Do you know the odds on them?
They're the 2nd favorite, I think, right? Behind the John Rahm team.
Let's go. Okay, go off.
I can't tell you. I just did a little homework. I looked to see which team was hot.
No, we're 16 to 1.
You are for Ripper?
Yeah.
Who's on Ripper again?
Cam Smith, Mark Leishman, Matt Jones, and Lucas Herbert.
By the way, Patrick, have you dug into like the open zone and the
I'm involved.
The demotion zone? I mean, like Henrik Stenson lost his job on Live because he made a par on the last hole the other day. He needed birdie. He didn't make one. Ian Poulter made birdie and got it. Like I wasn't watching. Sorry, Live, but from the looks of it, like it could have been very, very dramatic at the end there, especially when they're all playing. Like Ian Poulter's on the 5th hole and Henrik Stenson's on the 11th hole. They're playing at the same time, and one of them makes birdie and the other doesn't, and he keeps his job. And the other guy has to like go home and can't play anywhere for 3 years or something.
And their teammates too.
Yeah,
and
co-captains.
I went full boomer mode trying to find the broadcast. Honestly, I felt like I was going insane. You couldn't stream it on foxsports.com for some reason. So I went to livegolf.com, and then they wanted $8 out of me. And I was like, that's not happening. So I didn't watch it either, unfortunately.
I do want to say one last thing. Patrick, who did you play with in the practice
Stuart
round?
Sink, 59.
That's right, in Tucson. Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
That's the play. Plus 550.
Stuart Sink. That's why Sobel, it's like he knew.
Mm-hmm.
How about Stuart Sink, Lottie in there? Scotty, Stewart, and Lottie.
Parlay
Seems
them
like
all.
that's a winning parlay.
Throw Torquay in there.
And Torquay in there. All right, let's talk before we get going here. We have a few more things. Congratulations to our champion of the show for the splash pool, the OAD, MMM 893, 19 million.
Wow.
I mean, I can't look at me beating Rick by that much. $6,000.
Can I say something about MMM 893?
Yeah.
And shame on me applying a neck right now. MMM 893 is Morgan, a woman. I said, man, you got to figure your stuff out when she dropped out of the first place. She tweeted at me. She goes, MMM 893 here. Women like sports too.
Oh,
She picked Ludwig at the BMW Championship. Hope he could get it done for me. And he did. So I'm very, very happy for her.
Awesome. Congratulations, Morgan. And Tupac, who came really close, only lost by $87,000. That's a tough beat, but still it took home $500. Congratulations to everybody
and a shout out to Sean Hackbarth, because I know he's on Twitter. I've conversed with him on Twitter before. I don't recognize the other names. Otherwise we'd give them a shout out too, but I recognize that name. He's in 10th place here for $100, which is pretty cool. I forgot the money that's tied to this, $1,000 to the winner.
Totally forgot.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't have changed anything, but
and the big underlying storyline here is, what does Rick Gaiman have to do? He lost to Eric Cohen by 1 spot. I mean, that's going to be a long off season for Rick Rungood.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that
Tough
Rick
scene
didn't
for
put in
Dave.
his picks a few weeks, and that's the only reason he lost to me. I didn't deserve to be. Hey, is that Morgan in the chat right there?
Must be.
Morgan, congratulations.
Oh, there she is.
$1,000 right there. Thank you for joining us. Very, very cool there. Glad to have you.
Throw it all on Torquay.
Yeah,
Throw
Morgan,
it
you
all
got
on Tommy Fleetwood this week. 14-1. You know
Pay
what's
drag.
better than
Put it on
$1,000? $14,000.
Okay. Sobel. It's our last Sobel story time of the year. What do you have from the Tour Championship? What can you tell us as we look at the recap screen?
You know, I've covered this event like 15 times. It might say more about the event than it does about me, but I got nothing. I don't know. You go to the Tour Championship, it's really hot. Then you drive an hour through Atlanta traffic during rush hour, and you try to get back to your hotel and cool off a little bit. I'm sure there are better stories that I'm just not remembering right now. I've had a lot of good times there, not great stories, but I am going to go to the new 2026 PGA Tour schedule, which is out right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they have added a signature event. I'm not a big fan of this myself. We keep adding more rich get richer events out there. And I've had a lot of people on Twitter telling me, well, the ratings are better for the signature events than the non-signature events. I'm like, well, yeah, that's because all the best players are playing. I compare that to a movie where if all the biggest Hollywood stars are in the same movie, yes, people are going to watch. It might not be a good movie, though. All of that aside, Doral back on the schedule. Had me thinking about Doral back in the day, 2009, bellied up to the bar at Doral, just having a couple of pints with a little dinner there. And I sat in front of the Syracuse-UConn game. It's first half. I'm just kind of watching the game, hanging out. All right, game's getting close at the end. All of a sudden goes to overtime. Cool. A couple of my buddies who come over, they start watching next to me. They're standing next to me having a beer. Goes double overtime. I look around. There's a few more people there. Triple overtime, quadruple overtime. By this point, I turn around. I've got half the PGA Tour standing in a semicircle behind me at the bar, and I'm just front and center. I'm not giving up that seat. I remember I had to go to the bathroom so bad, but I'm like, if I get up right now, like they're just going to engulf this seat, and I'm never getting it back. So wound up just sitting at the bar at Doral, hanging out. Syracuse wins by 10 in the 6th overtime. Fun game to watch. The entire tour is there because everyone's staying at Doral. I believe that was the same night I met Mr. and Mrs. McElroy having a couple drinks with Rory's parents and Ernie Els and his caddy, which was kind of a weird, just strange, like, I don't know, we're kind of closing the place up, and that's who was left.
Man, you have stories this year. This has been my favorite segment on this show, all the stories that you've told. But I have one more question. 2 weeks ago, you mentioned when you were in Memphis that you were going to the casino. How did you end up doing that night?
That was a good casino trip. My boy Ben Everill, formerly of Golf Bet, he counts.
You shouldn't admit, but yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah, okay,
he can count pretty well. So that worked out.
So it worked out for you both.
Yep.
When you're in Scottsdale, presumably next year, can you invite me along to Talking Stick and I'll?
Oh, I have great stories for that week. Oh, remind me next year to tell you about betting with Michael Phelps in the high limit room a few years ago.
Oh, that's on next year's Early Wedge Sobel Storytime.
Stay tuned,
guys. What
Phelps was at Caves Valley last week.
Yes.
Did you see him? I saw him.
I didn't see him, but he was there when I was there. I didn't see him though.
I actually walked by him at outside the 16th hole at TPC Scottsdale this year for the Phoenix Open. Nobody recognized him. Just walking with a friend. Nobody, must be the long hair now. Before we go here, final thoughts. Patrick, give us something. Any thoughts on the last 26 weeks of the season? Anything upcoming? Let's hear it.
Anything upcoming? Maybe some new programming on Golf on CBS in 2026, trying to work out the kinks there. And just a thank you to all the listeners, to Matt, to Josh, to you guys, of course, too, for kind of keeping up with my BS from time to time. And it's been a hell of a ride, and I can't wait to polish it off with a Tommy Fleetwood victory.
Well, that's not happening. Sobel, you fit in like a glove on this show. The Patrick, Sia, and I did it in 2024, and to add you this year has been seamless. We've had a blast. Any final thoughts?
I told you guys this off air when we were done last week, but I'd like to say it publicly so everyone can hear it. I've been doing shows with hundreds of people over the last 20 years at many different outlets that I've been working at. This is absolutely one of my favorite shows that I've worked on over the course of the year, and hopefully we can keep the fam together and keep doing it for a while. But you guys are awesome. Matt and Josh are awesome. All the listeners are awesome. Appreciate everyone who's commented. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't comment and just watch and listen and pay attention to what we're doing. And we appreciate you guys too. I know we shout out the guys that and girls who are in the chat and talking to us, and we see them. They're more visible. But for those who are just behind the scenes and don't want to chip it, that's okay. That's great. We appreciate you guys as well. So it's been an awesome year, and hopefully we get to keep it going for a long time.
Sia, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm going to be using, there's no offseason in golf, right? We got some tournaments that we're going to be covering. I'll certainly have picks on the early edge, but we'll see what manifestation the early wedge has with the Ryder Cup. Like, you're going to see this show here and there, maybe for some of these other fall events too. But I'm going to be, listen, it's football season coming up. So this SportsLine YouTube channel, this podcast channel is going to have a lot of football content, college and NFL, our morning shows. I'll be studying and investigating Creatine Gate, of course. And that's pretty much going to be the extent of it. We're all going to be here, but hopefully we'll be seeing each other before, February when this show starts up again, probably January actually. But it's been a great season. This is such a great crew. I'm very, very proud to be a part of it.
I couldn't have said it better. Sia, I want to first of all thank everybody in the chat. You're with us every week. If you're new to us, please make sure to follow the SportsLine page and like the video. I didn't say that earlier in the show, but want to thank you guys always. You've always been good to me. You've always been good to all of us, and I will forever be grateful for you guys. Patrick, Sia, we've done this 2 straight years, and actually into parts of when I guested 3 years ago on a few episodes. And Sobel, it's been a true honor. Guys, I love doing this show. It has been an absolute thrill. I don't mean to get all sentimental, but you know what? Who knows how it all plays out. It's been so much fun, and I absolutely loved every second of it. By the way, producer Matt behind the scenes, you've done an unbelievable job making us look good. These recap screens, these graphics every week, A+. Thank you as well to Josh, who has done a great job on the other shows and when he's filled in on this one. So for Patrick McDonald, Jason Sobel, and Sia Nejad, I am Eric Cohen. Thanks for listening. And as I always like to say, let's hit it big. Goodbye.